What if the very things you have been told about healing are the things keeping you stuck? After years guiding my clients through deep lasting trauma work, I've seen the same pattern over and over. Well meaning advice that sounds helpful but actually does the most damage. And in this video, I'll show you 5 of the most common lies that stop your trauma healing and what will finally move your healing forward. So let's begin with a lie that sounds so reasonable, yet defies the very nature of being human, that you should have clarity and direction. But here's the thing, that's not how our human brains work. We are actually made of different parts. We are not one unified self. Each part of us is there for a reason. For example, if you have lived through early trauma, chances are that you might have a part of you that overthinks everything so that you're always prepared. A part of you that tries to be perfect so that it's worthy of love. A part of you that wants to be invisible to stay safe. And a younger part that is terrified of doing anything wrong. And here's the paradox. These parts are often protecting you from the very things that you long for. The longing to be seen and heard, to speak your truth, to be loved as you are, to rest and to belong. So what you long for and what you fear live in the same body, creating a constant, quiet tug of war inside you. So of course, you may feel torn, confused, lost. But not having clarity isn't a flaw, it's simply human. And healing starts when you stop fighting your complexity and stop forcing yourself into someone else's neat version of who you should be. That pressure will always lead to feeling stuck. And a very similar pressure brings us to the second lie, that you can willpower your way through healing. And it sounds empowering at first. If I just push harder, I'll heal faster. But let me show you how that's not true. Imagine you're stuck in quicksand. Your instinct is to fight and struggle, but the harder you fight, the deeper you sink. And it's the same with emotional healing. The more you pressure yourself to get better, the more your system gets stuck into exhaustion, resistance, and shame. So if healing isn't about force, what is it about? Well, it's mostly about 2 things. First, finding the right tools for the person you actually are. Not just what's trending, not what worked for someone else, what fits you, your rhythms, your story, your system, whether you are a visual person, a somatic person, a kinesthetic person. Find what works for you. Experiment. Just assume that you haven't found the way yet, but the way is out there. And second, building the internal and external resources that allow you to safely visit the places where trauma still lives, in your thoughts, in your body, and in your heart and felt sense. But when seeking those resources, many of us naturally turn to what we have been told is the gold standard of healing. And that brings us to the next lie, that cognitive and talk therapy can heal trauma. For years, they have been seen as the gold standard of therapy. They help you understand, they help you reframe, they give language to your pain. But let me show you how that doesn't work to heal trauma. You might understand your story inside out, but if your body still feels unsafe, if your nervous system is still on high alert, then that insight doesn't have a chance to land. Talk therapy helps you organize and make sense of your experience, or better, what you know is your experience. But trauma healing requires accessing the body's and mind's deeper truth and the hidden places of the subconscious you are not even aware of, the parts of the story you have buried a long time ago. So if you have done years of talk therapy and still feel stuck, there's nothing wrong with you. My life changed when I stopped talking about things and found a real way in through powerful therapies that work directly with the body, the nervous system, and the subconscious mind. And you will find out more about all of this at the end of the video. These approaches let you finally reach the roots of your trauma. But what happens when you do? Another lie often sneaks in, which brings us to lie number 4, that healing can happen without feeling pain. That maybe, just maybe, we can make it all go away. And I really get it. But here's why that's dangerous and simply doesn't work. Imagine you have a wounded leg. It's bruised, cut, bleeding, so you avoid touching it. You try to walk on it like nothing's wrong, and the more you ignore it, the worse it gets. Healing begins when you stop pretending it's fine and start caring for the wound even if it hurts. Pain isn't proof you're broken or doing it wrong. It's a cry for help. It just means that something buried is finally ready to be seen. And when you allow yourself to feel it, that's how trauma becomes the past instead of the present. But even when you're willing to feel your pain, there's one more hidden barrier, lie number 5. That healing is an inside job, that if you just fix yourself, everything else will fall into place. But imagine trying to grow a tiny little seedling in a dark room filled with toxic air. You water it every day, you whisper nourishing words to it, you do everything right. But without sunlight and fresh air, that seedling will always struggle to thrive. And healing is exactly like that. You can do deep inner work, but if your environment is harsh, disconnected, or draining, it will keep wounding the same tender places you're working so hard to heal. And the truth is, we are trying to heal in a world that wasn't built for humans to thrive. It's a society that values productivity over presence and appearance over authenticity and distraction over connection. And many of our wounds aren't just personal, they're systemic. They come from the structure and pressure of the world around us. And it's okay to not feel okay in this world. And while we can't always change the world around us, we can definitely start planting ourselves in healthier soil and find the places, the people, and the activities that let you breathe, grow, and feel safe, slowly moving away from what is draining. And now that you see what's been keeping your healing stuck, the question becomes, how do you actually heal trauma at its roots, effectively and for good? And that's what I'll guide you through in the next video, the system to heal from trauma. It's the big picture map rooted in neuroscience and the outcome of my 12 years of personal healing and professional work. Click here to watch it now, because healing isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about remembering what was never truly lost.